working off a master checklist to make sure all the food on Turkey Day goes really smooth. The family's out working cattle, and I'm getting ahead on the recipes. I'm going to whip up a big batch of herbed cornbread. It'll be the base of the southern dressing I'm making. Now, the cornbread starts with 2 cups of cornmeal and 1 cup of all-purpose flour. This is my mom's basic cornbread recipe. I'm changing it up just a little bit. Now, next goes in 2 tablespoons of baking powder and 2 teaspoons of salt. In the changing things up realm, I'm adding some herbs to my cornbread this year. Just a teaspoon of dried basil flakes, a teaspoon of dried thyme, and a teaspoon of sage. Classic Thanksgiving herbs. Now this just needs to get stirred together. I love using yellow cornmeal whenever I make cornbread because it just has that beautiful golden color. That's it for the dry ingredients. Now for the wet ingredients, I'll start with 2 cups of buttermilk. Always makes for a beautiful cornbread. A cup of regular milk. 2 eggs. And a teaspoon of baking soda. I have made this cornbread most of my life. It is so easy and so foolproof. All right, that's all whisked together. Now I just pour it into the dry ingredients and I'll just stir gently as I go. When it comes to making Thanksgiving dinner for the Drummond family, you can't get too experimental. Everybody likes things pretty traditional. But this year I decided to just make a few small changes to our traditional food. I'm really excited about the little tweaks I'm gonna make, and I think everyone's gonna love it. I've got some melted shortening and butter, about 1/4 cup each, and I'll just drizzle it into the batter. I'm saving a little bit back to go into the skillets. You don't want to overmix the batter at this point, just a few strokes, just until you see it all combine. Now I'll take the rest of the shortening and butter and I'll drizzle it right into these iron skillets. Got the heat on medium because when I pour the batter in, I want it to start to sizzle a little bit around the edges. I'll just pour half in one and half in the other. Smooth out the surface. I'm going to let these sizzle on the cooktop for about a minute before they go into the oven. You know, the cooking for Thanksgiving starts today, but the prep actually began yesterday when the boys and I went to the grocery store. Shopping with the boys is always an adventure. All right, I've got to get some raspberries. Ooh, I got them. 3 oranges. We need a lot of shallots. Okay, I got to get Brussels sprouts.
Ooh, jalapenos.
Did you know that when they have streaks like that, it means they're really spicy?
Oh, can I rub my eyeball now?
No. I am so relieved you guys are here to do the muscle work for me. Thank you. Gotta get bacon. That works.
What size is it?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I got it.
You need help your brother.
You break it, you buy it, Bryce.
We are stocking up, boys.
Girl, stocking up for the apocalypse.
Let's go check out. Thank you so much. You too. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving.
You know, when the kids were really small, Lad used to watch them all day while I do the Thanksgiving shopping. But I have to say, it was kind of nice to have the boys help yesterday. All right, the cornbread is going to go into a 450-degree oven. It's going to bake for about 20 to 25 minutes, and then I'll take it out and let it dry. While the cornbread bakes, let me fill you in on the guys' morning so far. So like most days, even the days before Thanksgiving, things began before the sun rose. Lad and the kids headed down to the barn to saddle up.
This morning we're weaning a big pasture of calves. All we have to do is just separate the calves from the cows. It shouldn't take too long.
They loaded up the horses and drove out to meet up with the cowboys.
Morning, Johnny.
I'm on time.
Then they headed out to gather up the cattle. They drove them back to the pen so they could separate the calves from their mamas, which is exactly what they're doing now. The cornbread's got to be done by now because it smells so good in this kitchen. Oh, yes, it looks perfect. Just the way I wanted it. Nice and light golden brown. Now, I'll just let the cornbread cool completely, and then I'll dice it into cubes and give it a chance to dry overnight. Then it'll be all ready for me to make dressing tomorrow.